Rootsland Nation, the channel test.
By 1993, Papa San was on track to be the next king of the dancehall. Right after Yellow Man lost his jawbone, but right before Shaba found his trailer load of girls. San had the talent, he had the image, he had a record deal. He already conquered Jamaica and even landed 2 #1 international Billboard hits. He should have been the biggest star dancehall ever produced. Instead, his career imploded. And the sad part, it wasn't the public that destroyed him. It wasn't the critics. It wasn't even his competition. It was the people guiding his career. And I know because I was in the room. I heard the boom and even caught some of the shrapnel. And for me, that was the day that dancehall died. When I moved to Kingston in 1991, it was to write and produce roots reggae music. And to be honest, I wasn't much of a dancehall fan. I really didn't understand the patois. The rhythms felt cold and computer-driven. It just wasn't my world. And then I started going to street dances in Kingston. Wednesdays at the House of Leo with Stone Love. Thursday night, Frontline. And somewhere along the way, I just got it. More than the music, it was the whole experience. The sound systems, the smell of jerk chicken in the air, the way it mixed with the sensimilia, the rival crews, the beautiful women. I ended up marrying one. And of course, the anticipation before the selector dropped the next tune. That's when I realized that dancehall was a living, breathing culture. Within a year in Jamaica, I started my own independent record label, Henry K., working with conscious singers, Eddie Fitzroy, Half Pint, Garnett Silk. But whether I fully understood it or not, dancehall was what the record companies wanted. And dancehall is what paid the bills. So eventually I had to balance producing the music I loved with producing what the labels were paying advances for. And started releasing dancehall records. Dominic, Terra Fabulous, Beanie Man, Mr. Vegas, early Mr. Vegas. I sold the 45s around Jamaica out of the back of my van. Those records I was producing in Kingston found an international audience and caught the attention of a New York independent record label, Pow Wow Records, who asked me to become the director of their A&R department. And what made Pow Wow different wasn't its size. It was the people running it. Judy Cacase and Herb Corsack, 2 music industry veterans who understood something that I was just beginning to learn. Making a great record was only half the job. The other half was getting it to the people, getting it on radio, getting it into the stores when we had them, and getting people to buy it. And before I ever walked through Pow Wow's doors, they believed they had found the future of dancehall music. His name was Papa San. There were plenty of great DJs in Jamaica, but there was only one Papa San. He was clean-cut, charismatic. He had the rapid-fire delivery that nobody could touch, and he could command a stage. If you ever seen him perform at Sting, you'd understand exactly why people thought he was special. Sting wasn't just another stage. It was a proving ground. And one night could make your career. One night could end it. Papa San did more than survive Sting. He owned it. His clashes with Lieutenant Stitchie became legendary. And by then, Jamaica had already made its decision. They knew Papa San was a star.
You should not put your career at risk when you know you're not going to benefit. Because you want competition, now you get competition, and know you dig your one pit. You never have the damn credit if it hacks. If you could have stepped in on the class, you just jump on me train and you turn on me style, then you turn your start to talk.
Pow Wow looked at all that, and they saw something even bigger. They believed they were signing the man who would finally take dancehall into American mainstream. So they signed Papa San to a multi-album deal. And by the time I got to Pow Wow, Papa San had already released 2 of those albums with the label. The first, The System, came out in 1990, introduced him to the American audience. Then came Rough Cut in 1992, produced by Danny Brownie and Robbie Shakespeare. It featured one of my favorite Papa San songs, Strange.
Watch it, Bishop. My name is Daddy Zanzi. I'm only 24. I used to have my own key to push my own door. But now I'm living on the street side because I'm all alone.
It was a little bit different, maybe more sing-jay than DJ, quirky, catchy, and it was a big hit back in Jamaica. Rough Cut the album was beginning to make inroads in the US market. Although the numbers weren't huge, Pow Wow wasn't worried. That's how record deals work. The early records establish the artist, build the audience, and then you go through the breakthrough. And that's exactly what happened. Not with another album, but with a phone call. Judy from Pow Wow's best friend happened to manage David Morales. Now, if you followed dance music in the 90s, you'd already know David Morales, he was one of the biggest names in dance music anywhere in the world. And through that connection, Judy was able to get Papa San featured on 2 David Morales and the Bad Yard Club singles, The Program and Gimme Love. In 1993, both climbed to #1 on the Billboard dance charts. And just like that, Papa San wasn't a Jamaican dancehall artist anymore. He was on MTV. His music was being heard around the world, and for the first time, he had proven that his style could cross over to an international audience. But you know, a funny thing happens when you get a #1 hit. Everything changes. If not for the artists themselves, for the people around them. And with 2 #1 records behind him, Papa San was ready to reach the stratosphere. The market was ready. The radio was paying attention. Producers wanted to work with him. Pow Wow was ready to go. All that was left was him to make the record. But there was one problem. Based on the success of the David Morales records, Papa San's longtime manager, he trusted, Sharon Burke, believed he had outgrown the original deal. She wanted to renegotiate. Pow Wow didn't. From Herb and Judy's perspective, they had taken the risk. They had believed in Papa San before anyone else. They had invested the time and the money, the relationships. Now they expected the agreement on both sides had signed to be honored. Sharon saw it differently and was willing to hold out indefinitely. Neither side backed down. And that's when I walked into the room. That's the time I took the A&R job at Pow Wow. And by then, the negotiations between Pow Wow and Sharon Burke, they had reached a standstill. The old Mexican standoff. Is that politically correct? Anyway, Herb and Judy knew I had a relationship with Sharon from my years in Kingston. They weren't looking for a lawyer or a master negotiator. They were just hoping someone Sharon trusted could convince her to make the next album for them. Because every day that passed, the momentum, it faded. The charts moved on, radio moved on, fans moved on. The music business, it doesn't wait for anyone. And for months I tried, trying to find some kind of middle ground. Never really happened. Sharon was convinced another label would step in and buy out Papa San's contract, offer a bigger deal. But reggae, it's a very small industry. Independents know each other. Majors know independents. Everybody talks. Everybody knows who keeps their word and who doesn't. Herb and Judy just helped Papa San reach another level. And if his management was willing to hold out for more money now, what would stop them from doing that again? The labels never lined up outside the doors. They were silent. Years passed, and in dancehall, that's like dog years. Felt like decades. Pow Wow moved on. Papa San moved on. Be honest, I'm not even sure he fully understood everything that was happening behind the scenes. He trusted his manager completely. And looking back, not getting that album made feels like one of the biggest failures of my career. I let down Papa San. I let down Pow Wow. I let down dancehall music. Because for the genre, that marked a turning point. On the one side, you had Papa San, Lieutenant Stitchie, Lady G, artists who showed that dancehall could be witty, uplifting, spiritual, romantic, without losing the ghetto identity. And the other side, Supercat, Shaba, Lady Patra, the X-rated dancehall, slackness, gun talk, materialism, which really became the image the world got to know. And I always wondered, if Papa San had a chance to shine, would the story of dancehall been different? Because once San disappeared from the equation, the X-rated version of dancehall became the dominant voice. But with its violent and slack lyrics, the backlash, it came just as quickly. Record companies backed away, radio backed away, major labels stopped looking to the Jamaican ghettos and garrisons for their next superstar. And years later, a different kind of dancehall emerged. Jamaica's gatekeepers finding a more polished, more palatable, more commercial version of dancehall to fill that vacuum. Shaggy, Sean Paul, Shensia. Dancehall 2.0, the corporate reboot. Successful, absolutely. But somewhere along the way, I think music lost something. Something that made dancehall unpredictable, dangerous, real and raw. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe history would have been the same exact way, but after more than 30 years, I still wish I'd seen Papa San wear that crown that many believed he earned. Because for me, that was the day that dancehall died.
Switch! Before them dig your ditch, I end up 6'6". Sana elephant stripe on them case again, think that's so badness, go boy. Watch your step on your flex. And special press on the bonnet. Think about it.
Living a life like a bounty hunter. You're gonna end up like Junior Father. Roaming the street late at night. You always end up in a bad boy fight.
You're too bad, man.
People say you are a troublemaker. And you also a law breaker. Change from a bounty hunter. Change from a sharpshooter. Change from a bounty hunter. Change from a sharpshooter.
Make a change for the best at the wrong road. Your text
I beg you
bye-bye to your flex and don't for progress. Make a change for the best at the wrong road. Your text say bye-bye to your flex and don't for progress. You must see what a epaulet, a couple stripe on your shirt. You must say thank you, Alenga, Mr. Sergeant Bishop. You take up the law in your hand. I can't do the work. Every single little thing you feel say gunshot famous. You a clown come out of town. Go on a circus. I must say you na cartoon and no serve no purpose. You a go on like you're up and a choke the taros. And a beat up your chest, a beat up your stomach. But what gunshot we make paper hole in your shirt. Sing.
Change from a bounty
How's your plans,
hunter.
man?
Change
How
from
you
a sharpshooter. Yesterday police take your mother.
Oh yes.
Then they start to harass your father. Ask question, they do not answer. Then they start to beat up your brother. Just because your father's calling.
Rootsland Nation at YouTube. A great channel on the panel.